feel, sir, as you turn 80? What's on your mind? What are your thoughts?
First of all, let me thank you
Okay, sir.
For finding time and coming all the way from Lagos. We've come a long way. People tell me I have succeeded, but I always laugh. They don't know there are so many people behind my scene who have made this possible. I know your way. I'm talking of 80s, 90s, in various capacities. One of the story I always tell people, which I remember, was the day Abacha died. And we're together. And we're discussing something else. Somebody said, Paul, go and check CNN. And we found they said something was happening at the time. That's how meeting ended that. So we come a long way. I feel grateful to God today because I'm where I am by sheer grace. He has put me at the right place at the right time. So when the door is open, you find that I'm the only one by the door. But more importantly, too, it surrounded me with incredibly good and excellent people. Either that we work together in various organizations that I worked, or we interface as associates, as friends, as colleagues. And all of them had created the brand that is known as Yemi Farounbi today. I tap from people, I learn from them, I gain from them. Sometimes I possess the ideas they are giving me. And when I use them, they see them as authentically mine. So I feel happy as an individual. Today, if anybody had told me I would reach this level, I would settle. My father was a priest of the Anglican Church. He barely couldn't pay my fees in secondary school. When I left Christ graduated, I was owing some money. Not to talk of paying my fees in the university. But somehow I met somebody who assisted, and then God took over from there. I was able to get a university scholarship and things like that. I didn't live on media. As a matter of fact, I was more interested in geology. As a young man, then I thought that was a way of making money. You do geology, you go and work in Shell. Mobil. There was no Chevron in Nigeria then. But then I had opportunity to do postgraduate work. I had fellowships, but I didn't have a passport. So looking for work in Lagos or Ibadan so that I can follow up with the passport office. You remember at Kakawa Street? That was the only passport office in Nigeria. I saw the advert of WNTV and I applied. They asked me to go and do aptitude test along with many others. And they said I passed. They invited me for interview. And I told them my story. I needed a passport. I want to leave as soon as I get the passport. And I left the interview. But apparently, the aptitude test had shown the aptitudes that I have, that I myself didn't know. The ability to write plays, the ability to write story, the ability to tell story, the ability to package story. Eventually, later on, I even started packaging films. I made 2 celluloid films. I made about 12 television drama series. Those were things I didn't know. So if I was not looking for a job so that I can go and check passport, I wouldn't have known that I had these skills and I would not have interfaced with media. And strangely, I told them I would leave as soon as I got the passport. I got the passport in 6 months. 50 years plus, I've seen the media. So it's a mixture of God's grace. So I'm so grateful to him and my colleagues, my mentors, the engineer Teju eventually gave me the job in WATP. Engineer Vincent Maduka, who developed so much love and respect for me and it's mutual. Ayogunlade late now. And a lot of the great people, Nessie Paye, Yomi Onobolu, Laulu Oguniyi, and a lot of very young people, colleagues, Biodu Shotubi, Biodu Aladekomo, all of them. They made broadcasting so exciting for me that I remained. And I forgot about looking for petroleum. So I'm grateful to God and I'm grateful to all of you, my good friends. And particularly you young ones. You are a little bit younger than me. You, that was that one. That was fame then.
Yes.
I keep saying. Eventually there was I broke up from fame.
Yes.
Bakari, all of you like that, you interface with me. I had quite a number of them also in Tribune. Banjo Nidele, Tola Adeni, Pelis Adenaki, Clement Gay, so many of them. We became a gang, as it were. I got ideas from them, I monitored them, I monitored what they were doing in the print. I developed it on my own, I converted it to electronic. So I had a lot of bilateral relationship with so many people who have made me today. And there are great men I never met who mentored me. One of them is Mahatma Gandhi. I love his selflessness. The fact that he beat India without being a prime minister, without being a councillor, without being anything. That one taught me that you can change a society, you can add value to the society without necessarily being a president. Nelson Mandela, another of my mentors, I never succeeded in meeting. Man who went to prison for 27 years and had the opportunity of becoming president and spent 24 years. A typical African will spend 27 years to compensate for the 27 years in prison. So I saw that kind of selflessness. Intellectually, I loved them. Then I had the privilege of sitting with Babawolo many times. I saw something in him, the fire that motivated him. How can I change this society? How can it become better? How can I improve on it? How can I give the greatest good to the greatest number of people? I saw that in him. I saw in him that for you to succeed, you must have a vision of what you want to be. When you came this morning, the first thing I asked you, I said, I've been managed all these years. I said, the much hard work. I see your hands almost everywhere. There's no week I don't see city people. That shows me you had a vision for your life. So from Awolowo I learned that you must have a vision. That vision must not change. But the techniques of achieving this vision can change. Technology has changed you people now. Also online, radio, online, TV, you are also print, use various social media platforms. Those are changing techniques. But that vision must not change. It was from him also that I found that when you have a vision, you must develop the competence that will allow you to deliver on the vision. Otherwise, you just be a dreamer. If you have a vision of what you want to become and you have no competency, you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the skill, you don't have the expertise, you don't have the networking or the relationship, then you're going to be a failure. So I learned that. And the third thing I learned from him that for you to succeed without good character, people must be able to say, yes, I trust him. I can relate with him. I, if he tells me something, I can hold on to it. So, Paolo, one of my mentors that I met, of course, Bolege, who led me to him. When I left NTA, Bolege insisted I must help him start a television station. I was not going to work again for anybody because I was tired of working with politicians. I saw the shenanigans the MPN tried to do with NTA, tried to mess up with me, and I messed up with them. So eventually I had to leave. But when he told me he wanted to start the best television in Africa, I said, why? He said, my leader, Obafemi, started the first. So he wanted to do the best. And I think you can do this for me. So we started working together, trying to build what we call the maker of television in Africa. A television station where it will be like a market. You can buy what you can get what you want at the right time, at the right quality, at the right quantity. Uh, we haven't exactly finished that when he had to leave for second time, so I had to assist him. Eventually, they said he didn't leave. Even the people said he won. So he left. But in the course of that, he had led me into the progressive governance. I met Solomon Lang, Wobodu, Bakari, Balarabe, all of them. So he opened doors for me. And of course, I met Nnamdi Azikiwe, I met Aminu Kano, I met the politics without business now, Waziri Ibrahim, and then I became close to Shifawoloro. Yeah, of course, Buhari came in as military government and put all of them in jail. So, myself, my good friend Tunde Tolati, Sholati, we were the young ones left. They had to be visiting Papa Olowo. So we now had regular contact. We were able to tap from his brain. I was able to ask him impossible questions. Things like, Baba, they say you don't forgive people. And Baba explains. Or Baba, they say, you don't really believe in God. And things like that. And I found that it's very profound. It's not what people say he is. He's a very humorous person, but always laughing. I remember one day I went to him and told him something. I can't remember now. And he said, that sounds true. He said, where did you find that from? I said, I got it from you. He said, can you find me a copy of that? So I was so excited. So I bought the book. It was 250 naira or something like that. So I gave it to him. And he insisted on paying me back. He said, because he didn't ask me to come and give him. He said I should find the copy. So, and when I went back in under 3 weeks, he had read the book and he went into a lively discussion with me, where he disagreed, where he agreed. So I looked at him. At that age, this man is reading. At that age, he was being taught econometrics, mathematical economics. I mean, that was the man who had been head of government, not only in the West, but in Nigeria, was Prime Minister effective. And then the man who had led us through the war was still learning new things. So I said, so who am I? So I gained that from him. So I'm a man that God just loved. I think so.
How do you plan to celebrate it? How are you celebrating it?
I've celebrated.
Okay.
First of all, there are some of my friends who wanted to throw a party for me, and I said no. That won't be me, exactly. Because the environment is not smiling. People are happy, people are hungry, people are hungry. I can hear the rumblings of the common man, the dissatisfaction with everything around him. Then I've now assembled people, will come and throw money. I don't think that's right. But some friends uh, said they will organize elections. So beautiful. That's not like me. They bring one of my friends, an associate, Dr. Hadi Fayemi, the governor of the place. Now, the interesting thing is that he went to Christ school many years after me. So we share a common background. He's an Awus. I believe in Awuism. He's a progressive. He quote. Because the word progressive has become something else in Nigeria. They think progressivism is in wearing the glasses or wearing the. And I always laugh at them. I say, if Paulo had been alive today, he won't be talking of the four cardinal points. Absolutely. The Awolowo I got to know. The man keeps on expanding his scope, widening his horizon. So he won't be talking of free education, free air today, will have gone beyond that. He probably be talking of free going to the moon, free ICT, and things like that. So when I see hear people say we are progressive because we believe in free education, I say, then you don't know the man. Because when he was action group, all he wanted was life more abundant. Freedom for all, freedom for colonialism, freedom for diseases and ignorance. I think those are the three things he wanted. And he didn't believe in a national party. He believed in a regional party that has alliances across the nation. By 1979, he was a different person. He was already talking about cardinal points. He was in fact already talking about a very technical concept of which he called the optimum optimum community. And I want to ask him, what do you mean by optimum community? He said that every community must have all that it needs, whether a village or a city or a town. So he told me that what every community needs, first of all, is education. So at the center of every community, there must be primary, possibly the secondary. They will need water, so they must have potable water. They must have electricity. They must be able to feed themselves and things like that. He said, so if each community in Nigeria is optimum, nobody will drift to Lagos or Abuja, because wherever you are, you can get what you want. So that's a very complex concept, which Professor Abayade, Professor Mabeyuge developed. And they were even trying to use aware to experiment it. So that is who he is. He was shifting, he was developing, but the focus is man, because he believed that man is the unit of development. It is man you want to develop, not you are developing land, you are building schools, you are building railway line, you are doing airlines because of man. And that man, irrespective of his religion, tribe, color, height, size, must be treated as equal. I got all of that from him. So when people tell me they are progressive and they are reciting what I always said in 1979, I just laugh. And you don't know that man. If he had been alive, we'd be talking of something else. I don't know what it would have been, but certainly not the four cardinal. So I like people who want to meet to celebrate and they talk intellectually. Uh, let's discuss man. Let's discuss the society that is made up by man. Let us discuss the community. Let us discuss the problem they are facing. Let us discuss the deterioration in the moral value, in the societal value, and we can correct it. Let us look at the economy inconveniences. What are the options? You know, that's. I believe I'll be spending my birthday better doing that. I believe some 34 university teachers so put themselves together and wrote a book. 34 pages, 34 chapters, 443 pages. I hope I will do the presentation early next year. It will still be part of the birthday. I believe that's the only way I can do anything I can do now to make the society better, to add value. I think that'll be going back to that society. I'll be celebrating the birthday.
So at 80.
But if you invite me to come and eat pounded jam in your house, I'll come. Or if you have 10 people there, I will.
So at 80, when you reflect on Nigeria today, how do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think, did you foresee we getting to this point? Did you see all of this happening at a time like this?
If I had had a dream and I saw Nigeria like this, I would think it's a nightmare. And maybe I didn't sleep well. I wake up and say, God forbid bad thing. Because when Nigeria became independent, I remember that I was at school. I remember that we were given special food, we were even given leader to drink, because everybody looked up to Nigeria to be great. As at 1960, were better than Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, India, Singapore, all of those countries were better than them. But today we are poverty capital of the world. All those countries have moved forward. I always look at the example of Korea, for example, but much better than Korea. Korea is number 14 industrialized developed nation. Where are they there? Our factories are shut down. You people live in Lagos, the Acme Street now. All those factories there, they're shut down. They become churches. There's migration of industries, Tonla, Michelin, even Ibadan here, you can't believe it. Exide left, TSD glass, windscreen manufacturer left, Isoglass left. There was one factory making brake pads and so on. Because we assembling cars in Nigeria, so they were all here. But we don't assemble anything any longer. Pan. It's no longer pan. Volkswagen disappeared. Anamco disappeared. We are making Rovers, Range Rovers, Land Rovers in Ibadan here. Milan disappeared. In Jos, we had making Fiat cars. It disappeared. We decided to do iron steel rolling mills. They folded up. We tried to do Ajaokuta. We were unable to do it. Even the technology must have changed. We tried to do the aluminum factory somewhere in the southeast. Same time with Ghana. Ghana finished their own after 3 or 4 years. Our own is gone. We tried even New Spring, Ukubuku. Finished. We had one in making newspapers somewhere in Djibouti. All gone. We made 4 refineries before 1979. Now we are being told that one is working or is not working. We don't even know which is the truth. I never expected Nigeria to deteriorate to this level. But it is predictable. Every country will try if we operate on the basis of a negotiated consensus. Because there must be a consensus among all the people who make up the country. And between the governed and the government, there must be a consensus. And the consensus that we reached from 1950, 1950, when we had a national conference in Ibadan here, was that we will have federalism. That we were too diverse for anybody to force us to live alike or to look alike. It's not possible. But we can share common things, currency, foreign affairs, things like that. But you cannot say that we must make students to study the same way, irrespective of language differences and cultural background. You cannot say that agriculture must be practiced the same way because we are called a nation, irrespective of cultural background, soil differences, climatic differences. So we agreed among ourselves, here we have a federation. We tried 1951 MacPherson Constitution. It had some problem. It was amended, so we had the little thing called Federal Constitution in 1954. Eventually, by the time we became independent, we had a federation that was nearest the best concept of federalism. And what does that mean? It means that the center does not dominate. The federative units will be a balance to the center. And it also meant that the legislature will counterbalance the executive and counterbalance the judiciary. So we had, if you like, 4 levels of counterbalancing to ensure that you don't develop a local dictatorship or a local tyranny. Legislature will counterbalance executive, supervise it. Judiciary will monitor all of them. Then this federative unit will be equal to the center. That was our negotiated consensus. Somewhere, 1966, Agui-Ironsi abolished the region and said he was going to have a group of provinces, he was going to unify Nigeria by decree. Of course, that led to what it led to. The one created the 12 states. This was logical. Because part of the problems that our founding father had against our federal structure was that the north was too large and it dominated, in quotes, population. Because we know that the general population characteristics, they are variants with well-known population characteristics. This is the only country I know that the population increases as we move towards the desert. Nowhere in the world has that. And when you look at the population in the desertic north, and you compare with Niger, Chad, Burkina Faso, Mali, northern Ghana, northern Benin, you see that there is something wrong. Our own cannot be an island. We have a political distortion of our population. So creating 12 states was good enough. And he said one thing in the broadcast, which if we have kept to it, Nigeria will not be where it is. He said, these 12 states shall have the powers of the region. So if the states have the powers of the region, then they won't be parasitically dependent on the central and today. As at that time, federal government kept only 20% of the money. Today they keep 52.8% of the money. Each federating unit kept 50% of whatever it produced. You gave federal government 20%. He put 30% what they call a distributable pool. But now, you barely get 13% of what you produce. Which is why when Lagos produces VAT, it gets 30%. It produces about 80% of the VAT, it gets 30%. So something is obviously wrong. So all of this distorted Nigeria. And this distortion now made the center where everybody must go. The good, the bad, the ugly. And as Father Kuka said, you've had a succession of people who are not prepared. Even the man who said he was prepared was not prepared. The only one who was prepared was the best president we ever had. The other one, who was near it, we've seen his performance in, we saw it in Concord, we saw it in ITT, we saw it in ATT, he was vice president, ATT for Africa and Middle East, so he was president of ITT, and we've seen him operate. He won the best and fairest election, but he never got there. So, but we have a succession of people. My good brother, Baba Obasanjo, went to beg him to come. Man has been in prison for 6 years. I remember that when he came and they were talking about computer, which is this one? Because when he was going to prison, there was no ICT. But give it to him. He devoted time to learn it. So he wasn't prepared. But we wanted him for only one reason. Because I was a PDP then with one of the pandas. We wanted somebody to be president who made it possible for the military to come back. And he did that. We didn't ask him to be president because we thought he got the best economic program. No. We first thought that first thing we need is to make sure the military will not come.